Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Shalom to the hopeful elect, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth, in the hopes that we may edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachak. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a response video to this video that I just came up on my feed. Without further ado, I'm going to hit play, and it's to do with the the pinch at the pumps is what they call it, the pricey petrol pumps, which, I did a quick video this morning, literally did it this morning at the price, the petrol station, and the price of the pumps, or the price of fuel at these pump stations are rising through the roof. All right. And they're already saying that in certain parts of the country, it's actually even, it's reached £2, £2.18 per litre, right? And most of them, they're like, £1.69, you know what I'm saying, per litre and that and whatever. But what you got to understand is that we are at the end of this thing, and because of the backlash from the global, situation that's happening over there, or economic situation off the back of what's happening over there in Ukraine, we're seeing knock-on effects, all right? And we're seeing the gases, Russia's one of the biggest importers, energy exporters, Salakia, one of the biggest energy exporters in the world. All right, so if Russia stops, pushing out, their suppliers, then it's only logical that these things are happening. These things are going to be going up and skyrocketing. And remember, we're in a time of a global reset, where the elites, they can pretty much manipulate the situation however they want. Now, we don't know exactly how they're going to do it, but, as the saying goes, never waste a major crisis, and at this point right now, if you people out there, ain't concerned about what's going on, then you really don't know what's going on, period. All right, because these fuel prices, soon you ain't even going to be able to drive your car. They want it to go electric. You got these ultra low emission zones and all of that being erected all throughout London and obviously various different parts of not just London, different cities and so on and so forth. So they're looking to outlaw petrol cars, diesel cars, period. They want everything electronic. They want everything connected to the Internet of Things, the New World Order. This is what's going to happen out here, man, So this is live from Hertfordshire. All right, and I want to go ahead and hit play on this clip so you can hear it from yourself. All right, and this is from GB News. All right, and the title, motorists are feeling the pinch at the pumps as fuel prices soar. And like I said, I did a lesson on this morning. And, this is all over the news, man. This is being reported because guess what? Not only have you got the fuel prices rising, you've also got inflation, right? You've also got the food prices rising, And earlier, just a short while ago, the brother Amawanga Bar just did a video talking about, the trucker that was at the, he delivers milk and that, and how, he did a video and says, look, you guys taking it for granted pretty much. This is how you get your milk. And what you're going to do next month when it's like at $11 per gallon, Because I think at the time it was over $5 per gallon and that and whatever. So, look, man, these are them labor pains, man. And I keep going into that scripture in 2nd Ezra 16. And Lord willing, I'm going to get into it because the scripture says that the plagues are not slack. All right, so this place is being plagued, Let's go ahead and click play on this clip.
Ellie, what's the latest on those pump prices?
Well, Liam, you're certainly going to be feeling the pinch at the pump if you are filling up your car in the next few days, that's for sure. As you just touched on there, I was in Chelsea yesterday. That's where the most expensive petrol pump in the country is. £2.18 they were charging per litre there. This morning, I was just off the M4. They were charging £1.89 per litre. And here, now, I'm at an independent petrol station where the prices are a little bit lower. As you can see, £1.69 per litre for petrol, £1.79 per litre for diesel. So it is a little bit less here. But Liam, what is interesting is the guy that runs this petrol station here, it's obviously fueled by Shell, but this is an independent business. He's had to hike up his prices, but he's still making a massive loss. That £1.79 for diesel, it really should be, he said, £1.89, and it.
So he's making a massive loss. at this independent, fuel station here, this guy's making a massive loss. All right, so how long are these guys gonna be able to make a massive loss for? All right, and it's all getting competitive. It's all gonna start getting dirty, seedy, competitive prices, and as the prices rise, and this is what, this is like, this is basically like, to be honest, like at the end of the day, that as the prices rise, it's almost like inflation of the fuel. It's inflation of the fuel price and supply and demand. There's less, supply of the fuel, because guess what? The fuel that's coming in is being choked out. All right. So all these things that people are taking for granted, you might think, okay, yeah, all right, cool. It's just fuel prices. What's the big deal? But how do you think these lorries deliver these goods and these victuals to your stores? People taking for granted. People have been taking for granted for the longest time the process that it takes, for the food that's, packaged in warehouses and transported to these supermarkets to then end up at your plate at dinner time. While you're sitting there, you got the cutlery out and you got your glass of wine and you having your evening conversation with your family around the dinner table. What did you do at school and all that? Click, 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 click. But you don't seem to realize that these things that are being taken for granted, you're no longer gonna have to. You're no longer gonna have to. It can no longer be overlooked. Let me just put it that way. All right, it's in your face now. All right, and now people are starting to panic. Okay, and that's why. Let me go and get that scripture in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. All right, because 2nd Ezra 16 and 37, it says, "Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack." All right, as when a woman with child, and these plagues are likened unto what? These turbulent times, man. And the main plague being what? The nuclear missiles, which is gonna decimate America. 200 million warheads to be exact, that are gonna decimate America, and the impact is gonna be so heavy that it's gonna rock the world, the globe, to and fro like a drunkard, like the scripture says in Isaiah 24. That's the main plague. All right, but one of the plagues is just for this place to get jacked up, whether it be economically, whether it be through pandemics, pestilences. This place is, and these things will have knock-on effects, because look what the pandemic did to the economy in the first wave. All right, so we just went from one plague straight into another, and that reminds me of that scripture in let me get it in the in, was it Amos? Is it Amos 5:18? It says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him." So you're going to go from one danger to another. All right. Or went into the house and leaned his hand on a wall and a serpent bit him, from one danger to another, then to another. So you think you're cool. And a lot of these people out here, think because things, the easing of the restrictions from the pandemic and that, whatever, people thought they were cool. But now guess what? Now you got the wars, the rumors of wars. You got, pretty much civil war over there in Ukraine, which is affecting the whole global economy, man, which is driving these fuel prices up. All right, and the EU rely heavily on their supplies that come directly from Russia, so that's gonna have a knock-on effect to everyone else's consumption and how they actually get a hold of this energy, man, that they were taking for granted before. All right, because business, when you mess with a nation's money, you see what I'm saying? This is all these sanctions that America's putting on Russia. You messing with a nation's money, like the Apostle Paul has always been saying. You mess with a man's money, that's when it gets real. You mess with a nation's money, and Russia can severely hurt the global economy, and they already have. Look how quick this has happened, man. And this is what I'm saying. Sudden destruction come up upon them, because this can all happen quick, So let's go back to 2nd Ezra 16 and 38. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son. So these plagues are likened unto a woman that's in travail, about to bring forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her great birth pains can pass her womb. Right? So we're going through them birth pains right now. This is what it is. And them contractions are getting tighter and tighter and shorter time spans between them. From one situation to another situation. Okay? It says, which pains when the child come forth, they slack not a moment. So they're not slacking, man. These plagues are not slacking. All right? We can observe these plagues right before our very eyes, man. All right? It's no longer, can you overlook what's going on? It's just over there happening over there. No, it's happening. It's affecting everything. It's having a knock-on effect. You know, the fuel that you put, you go to the fuel pump station, the fuel that you put in your car to go you pick your kids up from school, it's going to start costing, it's going to start getting ridiculous. Oh, the fuel that you put in your car to go to work, to come back from work. These things that people have taken for granted, you know, it's going to be in your face, man. All right? And you're going to be feeling the pinch, you know, the pinch at the pumps. Okay? It says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side, man. Remember, we're coming into a time like no other since there was a nation. Sorrows are about to come on this place on every side, man. And it damn near seems like we're getting to that point already, where it's going to get even worse. Okay, and you ever witnessed a woman having contraction pains, giving birth to a child, man, and she be rolling about, gasping for air, trying to find some comfortable spot on the bed. She can't get comfortable. She be sweating and shit. And this is what these plagues are likened unto. And that's why I'm bringing this scripture up to pretty much, you know, give you an example, you know, of what these plagues are like. Or the scriptures are doing that, you know, because these are these parables, man. You know, the Bible always speaks in dark sayings, parables, man. And for you to understand these mysteries, you got to be able to understand through the Spirit to be able to apply it to the times that we're going through in these last days, man. All right, let's hit this clip.
Diesel, it really should be, he said, 189. Business. He's had to hike up his prices, but he's still making a massive loss. That 179 for diesel, it really should be, he said, 189. And in the next few days, he might need to really be ramping up his prices, because at the moment...
Do you hear that? So in the next few days, he might be seriously considering to ramp up his prices, man. All right? And that's why when I did the video this morning, the Spirit had me even say that, like, you know, these prices in the next few coming days be expected to see it rise. All right? So this ain't no joke. This is mainstream media news, man. You know, they're outright telling you that the fuel prices are going to start rising over the next few days. Okay?
He is making a massive loss. So definitely in the south, these prices are really, really high, and people are certainly going to feel the pinch when they fill up their car in the next few days and weeks.
In the next few days and weeks. So they're saying that this ain't even going to calm down. And that's why we hasten the day, man. Okay, because the plagues are not slack. And the ultimate plague that we're waiting for is for Yahweh Shai, you know, for the missiles, and then Yahweh Shai to come back with them laser beams and nuclear, you know, them laser beams to add to the destruction with them nuclear missiles. All right, and that's why we hasten the day. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. See, when these people are out here saying peace and safety, you know, then guess what? Sudden destruction cometh upon them, man. That's why the scripture says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. You know? It says, and he's, you know, we you know, people probably didn't even expect that this was going to happen this year. You know, but we know that, hey, through the Spirit, they got an apostle Tahar to label this year, the elder apostle Tahar to label this year the year of the turn up, the Lord turning up, 2022. And guess what? Pinch at the pump, these fuel prices be turning up. Everything be turning up. On a global scale, it's all turning up, man. So that's the Spirit. So I want to say, let me in face, hey, man, Barakatah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rachakudash, man, for the year of the turn up, you know? That's what I want to say. Barakatah Yahweh Shai for the year of turn up, man. Barakatah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rachakudash for the year of the turn up. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, right? That's that main plague. And which the elements shall melt with fervent heat, right? And the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. This is the second death, man. The main plague coming by way of thermonuclear destruction, right? Let's get Zechariah 14 and 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. And their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. And their eyes shall consume away in their holes. And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. The second death, man. Okay, America is about to be a land wasted, barren, desolate, turned into a desert, man. Okay, So we're in this is an exciting time. We got to keep our eyes open, man, because, these fuel prices rising, that means it's going to have a knock-on effect on the food prices rising even more. Okay, because the food prices have already been rising, but guess what? If the fuel prices are going to rise, and guess what? The transportation costs for the food to get to these supermarket shelves, that's when people are going to start losing it. And when people got nothing to lose, they lose it. They're going to be looting. There's going to be robbings. There's going to be, people robbing each other, kicking down each other's doors, because of the lack of bread, man. All right? That's that 2 Esdras 15. Okay? So people can be proud now. They can walk around proud now. But guess what, man? It's becoming hard for you to be able to ignore, the war drums. All right? Because we're in a time of war. We're not in a time of peace. 2 Esdras 15 and 17, and a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. How are you going to be able to go from one place to another when the price of fuel is like, I don't know, let's just say it's £100 per litre? How are you going to be able to do that? A lot of people are feeling the pinch already as it is. Okay? Or when it's £1,000 a litre. Because the prices, there's no telling how they're going to spin this, man. How big this impact is going to be. All right? But consider the worst case scenario, man, to the point where you just can't afford anything. And that's when it's going to be dog eat dog, like children and men, the road. It's going to start getting real grimy and dirty out here. Remember, the scriptures speak about Jacob's trouble, man. All right, so we're going to go through some hard times. The scripture says, through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom. But we don't fret about that, because at the end of the day, the Lord is going to, is going to protect those that fear him. All right, it says, because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So if the men are going to be afraid, then what are the women going to be like? Okay, you got women over there in Ukraine. They're getting raped. Okay, you got gang violence that's going over there in Ukraine, but they ain't reporting that on the mainstream media. The guys that have been given guns, are over there in Ukraine. Because we watch them alternative news media channels, man. And I saw one video, that Coach Red Pill geezer. He was saying that he was walking through the town of Ukraine. And he was saying that people were pretty much shooting each other up. Like you got gang turf wars over there in Ukraine. They're not even a lot of them are not even using it on the Russians. That's what he was saying. But guess what, man? And he said he was afraid to walk down the street because the crime rate is so high over there now. So guess what? There was one time where people in Ukraine were walking around proud. And now, guess what? Look, now they're in fear for their lives. They're having to leave their homes. They're having to turn away from their homes, walk down the street, never look back at their homes, and find out that their homes have been blown to bits by an airstrike or something. You see, this is how quickly things can switch up out here, man. All right? People have been taking things for granted. And my man, the Joker, said in Dark Knight, what did he say? These civilized people, when their chips are down, they'll eat each other. Let's keep reading, verse 19. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, and shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. That's the time that we're coming into, man. This ain't no joke. The pinch at the pumps is here, man. Okay? These plagues are not slacking, man. And they're likened unto them labor pains, as a woman bringing forth a child. Okay? So they're not slacking. No, not for a moment, man. All right? So with that, I want to say all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Hey, pinch at the pumps, man. It's here. Shalom.